So you might be under the impression that if you Google like an MLS listing, that it's probably easier to find public information on MLS than it is on for sale by owner. I was actually surprised to observe, just as a casual observer, it's actually easier to find public information on for sale by owner. So why is this? Well, the very affluent people pride themselves in stewardship and privacy. Basically, they've most likely inherited a lot of wealth. They've most likely inherited many real estate properties worth millions of dollars, and they sort of want to control who they turn the keys over to. Now, like I said, once you sell a home, to my understanding, like what happened to my parents, is they sold their house to someone who said they were going to remodel it and preserve the historic nature of the home. And then 6 months later, they said, sorry, we're tearing it down. So I think there is a limit to how much you can control once you sell. But in my understanding is the very affluent luxury real estate market, and this is actually a global trend, prides themselves on transferring properties to like-minded people who have a similar affluent taste who also value privacy. Now, like I said, you can't prove any of this stuff because that's the whole purpose of having an LLC, selling things under an LLC using the 1031 exchange, step up in basis, all these different tax advantages and privacy measures. When you're like, well, how do you prove that? Well, you can't really prove it. So here's sort of a backwards way you can prove it. If you Google like a wealthy suburb and they say there was a reported, mortgage origination loans of like only a few dozen mortgages, and then you say how many homes are paid off, sometimes you can actually Google and find out that certain areas have very wealthy neighborhoods where they have more than 50% equity. And so some wealthy neighborhoods, it's estimated that 65% come from wealth transfer, wealth inheritance. So the luxury real estate market isn't this small little show-off market. It's actually a gigantic private market, meaning there is so much global wealth right now that it would be very surprising